Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Dragalia Lost. It is me, it's PokemonTripHD, and today I'm going to be going over the Summon Showcase Visions of Amity and letting you know whether you should summon or not. Basically, short story, no, please do not summon on this one. I know I keep saying no, don't summon, but it's all for a good reason. The rest of this video, I'm just going to be explaining why you should not summon. It's going to be a hard no if you need to go right away. Please do, but I'm just going to spend the rest of the video explaining myself and reviewing the new units that have come out. So, in this banner, Visions of Amity, we get a couple new adventures and a new dragon, which is actually really cool. There are 2 wind ones and 1 flame, which is weird that there's a flame, but 2 wind adventures just in time for High Mercury. But unfortunately, Silas does not even have a bog res, which is a yikes. But anyways, here we go. This is what the rate up is looking like. We have Silas, which is the newly released Wind Lance. Then we have Maribel, which is already been out for a long time, but she's on rate up this time. Then we have Pazuzu, the new Wind Dragon. No worm prints on rate up. 4-star adventures, we have Yui, brand new. She's on rate up. Then we have Strybog as the 4-star dragon. And no 4-star worm prints and no 3-star anything on rate up. So there we go. That's what your rate up. That's what your rate up is looking like on this banner. And what you're probably going to be getting is the rate up items. So let's actually talk about the adventures now. So first up is going to be Silas. So I just want to mention that you should not pull on this banner for the following reasons. So the Fae collab is coming on the 25th, which is when this banner ends. Now, the Fae collab, we're not sure if there's going to be a banner yet for it, or if it's just going to be you're getting free units, or what. There hasn't been much information released. There's probably going to be more information released as we get closer to the start dates, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, if there's going to be a banner, you're going to want to pull on that banner, because you're probably never going to see that banner ever again in this game's lifetime. You might see it once again, but you're probably not going to see it for a long time, if at all ever. Whereas, you know, other limited units like the Christmas units, you're going to see them again probably on next year, Christmas time. But collab units, you may never, ever see again. So you're going to want to save up a ton of Warmite for that banner and a ton of pulls for that banner so you can test your luck and try getting some Fire Emblem characters if there is even a banner. Side Games usually does not have banners for collab events. They usually just give out free characters. And it is going to be Fire Emblem Heroes, so I already made a video talking about this, but we're probably just going to get original Fire Emblem Heroes characters, not Fire Emblem characters, if that makes any sense. Like Alphonse, Shuri, and Anna. So you want to save your Warmite just in case there's a banner. And anyways, there's going to be summoning changes happening on the 25th or 26th, depending on your time zone. This is PST. Depending on your time zone, summoning changes will be coming. No more worm prints, and there are worm prints currently in this summon showcase, as you see right here. Worm prints have a 1% chance of showing up, which is pretty darn high, and you don't want any worm prints coming up in your way, showing up in your summons. So that's very, very unfortunate. Now, of course, you can get a ton of Eldwater if you get duplicate adventurers or dragons, but it's really not worth it to summon at that point. Another reason is because these are not limited units, you might even pull them while you're pulling for some other units, so it's really risky to pull for them here. But of course, if any of these characters or adventurers or dragons or etc are your waifus or husbandos or whatever, go ahead and summon for them. You know, it's your choice. It's supposed to be a fun game. If that's what makes you fun, go ahead and pull. You know, I can't stop you. I can't force you to pull. This is my recommendation. So here we go. Let's actually get into the analysis of the units. So Silas, High Mercury did just release, and you might be thinking, oh yeah, Silas, Wind Lance, I can use him for High Mercury. But unfortunately, no, you can't. He has freeze res, not bog res. So that's a meme. And you can't even use him for High Mercury. Well, you can, but he's not recommended to be useful for High Mercury. You're going to need a specialized team of people who actually want to clear with Silas to actually clear with Silas. So that's going to be a toughie. But his skills, Woodland Spear, is actually really good. Deals wind damage and a direct head and reduces their strength by 10% and inflicts poison, which is a whole wombo combo. It's actually a very good skill. But his second skill is very good, but the SP cost is way too darn high to actually use it. Now, if I recall correctly, the SP cost is 12,000. 12,000 SP. To put this into perspective, Sinoa's skill 2, or is it the skill 1? The skill that's like this, I believe, is 4,000. So don't quote me on these numbers, by the way. It's just something I saw. Something that I saw in Discord. So I was like, okay, I take it. But that's what I saw, and that's absolutely insane if that is the case. because that's like you're never going to get the skill 2 off at all. So that's super unfortunate that the skill 2 is so hard to get off, and even then it's random. So if it wasn't random and if, you know, you're guaranteed strength up or something, then it would be a ton better. But unfortunately, you're not guaranteed anything. So it's super what's the word? It's unreliable, to be honest. It's unreliable with the skill 2, but it's very good skill 2. But like I said, super unreliable, and you're not going to get it off many times throughout the course of a battle at all, which is super unfortunate because it's actually really nice with the skill gauge fill rate, just like Laranoa had. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's really unfortunate that it costs so much to get that skill 2 up. Kill ability is normal, and his normal abilities, his other abilities, Last Recovery is a pretty bad skill, or not skill, ability, to be completely honest. Julieta has it, and it really doesn't get much use at the moment. It might be useful on High Mercury, I guess, but you're not going to want to really use it for High Mercury anyways, so it's not that great of an ability. Freeze Res, of course, not useful for High Mercury at all. There might be future endgame content where you're going to need Freeze Res adventurers, but at the moment, not useful. Then you have HP 7% equals strength plus 13%. Now, this is actually a very useful ability. Only downside is your HP needs to be above 30 or 70%. Only downside, but you can probably get there often as long as you have a healer on your team, especially if that healer is someone like Lowen, which is probably one of the best healers in the game. So that's, yeah, you know, it's kind of, his abilities are okay, to say the least. They're just okay. Nothing crazy, nothing terrible. Last Recovery is pretty bad, but he's not a terrible adventurer. He's actually pretty solid with his first skill and the ability HP 7% equals strength plus 13%. But like I said, he's not going to be what you want to use for High Mercury, and his skill 2 just takes way too long to charge up, even though it's a very good skill 2. So overall, would not recommend summoning for Silas, as unfortunate as that may be. Next up, the 5-star dragon Pazuzu. Now this dragon, his skill is just a normal skill, but it inflicts poison and reduces defense, which I think is absolutely insane for a dragon skill. Very supportive, which I like a lot, and it synergizes very well with his abilities, which is strength plus 50% and poison punisher plus 20%. So poison punisher is very interesting. I believe it's the first of these kinds of abilities that we've seen on a dragon. There's been burn punisher abilities on Worm Prince and other abilities on adventurers, I believe, but I believe this is the first one on dragon. It may not be though, quote me if I'm wrong, or don't quote me if I'm wrong, I don't know. So poison punisher is very, very nice, especially for Win, because that's where pretty much all the poison is. You have adventurers like Addis, Luis, Eleonora that all have poison, and now Silas as well, that all have poison, and this dragon Pazuzu has a skill which inflicts poison, so it synergizes very well, and altogether offers plus 70% damage. Now the only downside with this is you need a team with high poison uptime to really take advantage of this. Otherwise it's going to be weaker than Zephyr. And the problem with afflictions is once you afflict a boss, that boss gains a bit of resistance to that affliction. I believe it's 20%, so, but I'm not 100% positive what that number is looking like. But the boss does gain resistance, so it's going to be harder to inflict the same status onto him. I believe High Mercury does get poison though, so that's really nice. So you can have a ton of damage with this dragon on High Mercury. But like I said, the downside is that eventually Zephyr is going to be better. In a super long drawn out fight, Zephyr will eventually be better. So, but Pazuzu is great, don't get me wrong. Pazuzu is probably a very close second, as long as you have a poison team, a very close second to Zephyr. So it's a very interesting choice here. There may be content where Pazuzu is better. There may be content where Zephyr is better. Definitely going to be better than Long though for pretty much all case scenarios, unless your crit rate is like 30% or something. So probably better than Long, but not as good as Zephyr just for general usage, I would say. Should you pull for him? Probably not. He's going to be in the normal pool. You'll probably pull him while you're pulling for someone else. Again, same exact thing with Silas. Same exact thing with Yue. I'm not going to talk about Maribel, but Maribel is a great adventurer, and I wouldn't pull on this banner just for Maribel though. She is great though, don't get me wrong, she's a great adventurer and helps in a ton of things, but I would not pull strictly on this banner for her. She is useful for High Mercury though, so if you absolutely need someone for High Mercury, you could pull for her, I guess. Now Yui, we finally got the Chocolatiers all together. Yui is actually pretty good except for her abilities. Now, I'm going to just talk about the second skill she has. Now, the first one, like I said, it's pretty good. Inflict stun, very nice. Second one, though, activates Wild Child for 20 seconds. During Wild Child, the user's critical rate is increased by 20%. Their HP is restored by 3% of damage inflicted, and their defense is reduced by 40%. This is an insane skill. So this skill, Wild Child, or Wild Instinct, which activates Wild Child for 20 seconds. So just to recap, your crit rate is increased by 20%, which is really nice. Your HP is restored by 3% of damage inflicted, which is a little odd. I don't think we ever had a skill like this. And their defense is reduced by 40%. So you're basically a glass cannon at that point, which it's a very risky, very risky skill. You need to be able to dodge your hits, because if your defense is reduced by 40%, you're going to be taking big hits. Now, the HP restoration is coupled with an ability of recovery potency, which I think is honestly not very good. Now, listen to what I have to say on this. I think it's not good because you don't really want your DPS to go down during, because you could have had an offensive ability, if that makes sense, but you have recovery potency, which is really not helpful. Like I said, you want to have DPS, but what this could be useful for, to look on the bright side, what UA could be useful for is a strictly tank role. Now, the problem with the strictly tank role on this, though, is that her defense is reduced by 40%, meaning she's going to take a lot of damage, but she can heal herself while she's taking damage. So, I don't know. It's really interesting. I have to see how this plays out. I don't have her yet. It's going to take a lot of testing. Maybe this is going to be a useful thing for future eye content. Maybe this is just something they're trying out to see how it works, so they can, fix it up for the next skill or next ability that they release with this. Who really knows? We're going to have to wait and see what that turns out. It's very interesting. I like what they're doing with this, with Floor and now with UA. They're adding some really nice touches onto their adventures, and I can really appreciate that. We're just going to have to see how that plays out, honestly. And then our abilities, of course, Last Defense. Overall, Last Defense is not too great. Sleep Res, which means she's not going to be useful for high Midgard Stormer, which is super unfortunate. But, of course, we do have Vanessa, so I guess it's even split, one Sleep Res, one Stun Res, Axe, Fire, Flame. So, Fire, Flame. So, yeah, overall, like I said, everything in here is good, but nothing in here is game-breaking or game-changing, and you absolutely need to pull for. Overall, it's a good banner, but like I said, you got summoning changes coming soon. You got a fake collab coming soon. You have a bunch of limited banners that are probably going to be coming soon. So, well, not a bunch, Summer, Gala, etc., etc. So, honestly, I would not recommend summoning for this unless you absolutely need more win adventures to clear some content. Like I said, Pazuzu, there's potential for Pazuzu to be the best win dragon at the moment as long as you have a poison team. So a lot of potential in Pazuzu. We just have to see how everything plays out, of course, with the content that is going to be released. And if you even need Bog Res to clear High Mercury, because like I said, it's only been out for a day. It hasn't even been a day yet. So we got to see if clearing with non-Bog Res units is easy or not. So overall, I would say that, like I said, do not pull on this banner. It's a good banner, but not the greatest. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, though. I might as well do a daily deal because I'm in a position where I can afford to, and I want to support the game. So here's the daily deal, just as a thanks for watching this video. I actually pulled a 4-star, which is pretty cool. I'll take it, I guess. Better than a 3-star. And it's probably going to be a UA, which I think is awesome. Okay, so I guess I could try out her Wild Child skill with UA there. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time for the next videos. Hope you guys are looking forward to High Mercury videos and the Chapter 8 summary or review video. I'll see you guys then. Take care, everybody, and good luck if you do decide to summon on this summon showcase. I'll see you guys for the fake collab soon. Take care.